Get a whiff of this. Passing gas is now age-restricted content on YouTube. According to YouTube's secret community guidelines, I say secret community guidelines because this rule isn't actually in the community guidelines, even though it's being enforced. You must be at least 18 years old if you want to hear the thunder from down under. How did I learn about YouTube's policy concerning butt burps? Last month, I posted day 20 of Islamicize Me. If you're not familiar with Islamicize Me, it's a feel-good Ramadan series about three men, Giovanni, Jamal, and Dennis, who spend 30 days mindlessly obeying the commands of Muhammad. Along the way, they learn that Muhammad was obsessed with bodily functions, how to eat properly, how to drink properly, how to urinate properly, how to defecate properly, and so on. On day 20, they're in the mosque praying when Giovanni suddenly sings the anal anthem.
What was that? What was what?
With the help of the Beelzebub of backpacks, Jamal explains that Giovanni's prayers are voided because Muhammad had detailed rules about baking brownies while praying. Giovanni disagrees, saying that Allah understands that hiney hiccups are a natural function and that he was only playing the butt bongos due to some spoiled breast milk from day 19. But this leads to an argument and a fight.
Now let's go with you guys. Try to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All you're talking about is your farts. Show some respect. It was breast milk, I tell you. Ow, you idiots.
The three heroes then flee the mosque in their caravan, although they certainly left skid marks. So, a character in a video, played by Vocab Malone, accidentally airbrushed his underwear. That's when YouTube decided that this video would be too much for anyone under the age of 18. If you try to watch the video without being logged into an adult's account, you'll see this. Content warning. This video may be inappropriate for some users. Sign in to confirm your age. When I click on the explanation for the restriction, here's what I get. Age-restricted content. Some videos don't violate our policies, but may not be appropriate for all audiences. In these case, seriously, YouTube? Our review team may place an age restriction on the video when we're notified of the content. Age-restricted videos are not visible to users who are logged out, are under 18 years of age, or have restricted mode enabled. When evaluating whether content is appropriate for all ages, here are some of the things we consider. Vulgar language, violence and disturbing imagery, nudity and sexually suggestive content, portrayal of harmful or dangerous activities. To learn more about what you can do to avoid having your video age-restricted, visit our Policy Center. If you believe your video was age-restricted in error, you can appeal the age restriction on your video. If you're looking to monetize your video, make sure to review our policies, since age-restricted videos are not eligible for monetization and are not shown in certain sections of YouTube. Age-restricted videos are also not eligible to be used for ads. Now, notice the confusion. Make sure to review our policies, since age-restricted videos are not eligible for monetization. So, you'll want to review YouTube's policies to make sure your content is in line with YouTube's policies. But the message starts out with, some videos don't violate our policies but may not be appropriate for all audiences. In these cases, our review team may place an age restriction on the video when we're notified of the content. So, if you're worried about this age-restricted content flag, be sure to review our policies, even though the age-restricted content flag may have nothing to do with violating our policies. Was this article helpful? No, it wasn't. To be clear, YouTube is not the government. It's a website, and it can make whatever rules it wants for its platform. My concern is that the age restriction policy on blowing the big brown bugle isn't really a policy at all. If it were a policy, I would expect it to be enforced on some video other than mine. But a quick YouTube search reveals a bit of hypocrisy. Here's an overview, or over PU. Age-restricted content. Not age-restricted content. Age-restricted.
Oh my goodness. I can taste it. It tastes like spoiled milk.
Not age-restricted.
No. You got more.
Yeah.
Age-restricted.
I'll tell you, it's the breast milk and that strange chunks in it, man. I'm gonna kill you.
Not age-restricted.
Baby, too. Oh, now, see what you made me do?
Inappropriate for anyone under the age of 18.
I heard it and I smelled it. That means you dealt it.
Appropriate for all ages. Can't be watched by children.
Ow, you idiots.
Can be watched by children. Don't watch this with your kids around.
Hello, Armbar. You be quiet. He's gonna hear us.
Fun for the whole family. Rated X by YouTube.
You messed up.
Rated G by YouTube.
You're in, unless you're like the weirdest guys ever and I don't see it.
Great.
Do you see a trend here? Eddie Murphy single-handedly rebuilds the ozone layer, and it's perfectly acceptable. Vocab turns on the heat in a mosque, and children suddenly have to be protected. Leslie Nielsen lays down a little skunk bait, and any 4-year-old can watch it. Vocab steam presses his thawb, and YouTube needs to see some ID. Jim Carrey launches a Scud missile. Nobody panics because a good cheek squeak is all part of the plan. Vocab broadcasts his own private call to prayer, and everyone loses their minds. Either this is the most horribly enforced policy since New York's law against panhandling on the subway, or YouTube is only pretending that yodeling out your whoopee cakes is age-restricted on its platform because someone at YouTube really doesn't want young people seeing us make fun of Muhammad's commands about colon bowlin'. So, who at YouTube decided to age-restrict Vocab's one-man jazz band audition? This brings us to the real problem. YouTube age-restricting one of my hundreds of videos is a pretty minor issue. I don't really care all that much. There are more important things going on in the world. But, no pun intended, this age restriction is part of a pattern that's been emerging for quite some time. You see it on YouTube and nearly everywhere else. Sticking with YouTube as our example, I don't think that there's some high-level conspiracy to target videos critical of Islam. There's a ton of criticism of Islam on YouTube, and in my opinion, it's the greatest platform for refuting Islam the world has ever seen. However, there are human beings who work at YouTube, and human beings often have agendas. When someone falsely flags your video and YouTube takes your video down or adds a restriction of some kind, YouTube usually, but not always, gives you an opportunity to appeal the false flag. But your appeal goes to a human being who works at YouTube. You hope that this person acknowledges that you haven't violated any rules and restores your content. Sadly, some of YouTube's appeal reviewers are activists who may decide to let the false flag stand because they don't want people to see your video. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't have a foolproof system for dealing with these activist reviewers, so videos come up missing without explanation, silly restrictions stick with no further chance to appeal, and so on. The solution would be for YouTube to keep track of which reviewers are blocking videos or adding restrictions to videos and having some sort of higher level appeal where you can say, look, YouTube, you've got an activist here messing with content that he or she doesn't like. Then YouTube can make sure that the activists don't get to control people's content. I don't know if YouTube's managers actually care enough to track down the meddling activists in their midst, so all I can do in the meantime is send a message to the men and women who've been messing with my videos. To you silent but deadly social justice warriors who've been taking down my videos or adding restrictions, age restrict this. I give that one a 7.3 on the rectum scale.
Let's have a smell, all right? Ooh, wafting, wafting. Oh, everyone likes their own brand, don't they? This is magic.